The GROOTMAS holiday event is live in Marvel Strike Force. Is it worth upgrading your Guardians just for this event, or is this another trap? We're talking about the new Death Seed team and the best ISO 8 setup for this team, and the rest of your mailbag questions, because it is a special Tuesday edition of the Monday mailbag. And if you're ready for all of that, Valley Club, you want to do, find that like button and let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, Valley Maniacs. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin, and I hope you're doing well. I'm still a little bit under the weather, but good enough to make this mailbag video for you guys, because there are some burning questions that you guys had in that mailbag channel on Discord that I know you wanted to get answered. So I'm making this video today to help you guys out. Now, if this is your first time on the channel, we talk about Marvel Strike Force here, at least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on this channel. All your latest tips, tricks, news, gameplay, countdown lists, and a lot more to help your Marvel Strike Force experience. We used to talk about Marvel Snap on this channel as well, but all of that got moved over to my Marvel Snap channel, Valley Snap. If you want to check that out, make sure you check out the link down below. But let's talk about this GROOTMAS event. Seems like a pretty good event. Seems like some pretty good rewards, but is it worth upgrading your Guardians? So let's take a look at the event itself. Now, I think the most challenging node here is going to be node 1-3, because on this wave, I used to finish off all these minions here. The last wave drops with a bunch of minions, Ronan, Korath, Minerva, all at full turn meter, and yeah, if you don't have your Guardians built up, it's gonna be rather challenging. Now, there is one Guardian that I think is worth building up, and that is Gamora, because she's a part of that Infinity Watch team. You could also put a little bit of investment into Star-Lord and Rocket for that Nowhere Heist campaign if you haven't already done that. But the rest of these characters, Groot, Drax, Mantis, probably not worth it. But there are some really, really good first-time rewards if you can manage to clear through this Guardian difficulty. So let's go take a look at some of these first-time rewards. And all the way up to node 6 here is you're gonna get some power cores for these first time rewards. Node 6 actually rewards 225 power cores, which is gonna be good for this Nemesis event, where you probably wanna spend some cores refreshing that event campaign so you get as much Nemesis shards as possible. All right, so that is what we have for the first time rewards. All of this node 6, it has these power cores, but on node 10, you're gonna get some fully crafted teal gear. And I think if you manage to get through some of these earlier nodes, especially 1-3, you can get all this. Now, this is where I had my Guardians built up before the event. Let's go back into the game now. Now, this is where I had my Guardians built up for this event. As you can see, Gamora was built up because she's an Infinity Watch member, all the way to gear 16, level 85. Might actually put a little bit more resources there, not for this event, but because she is important part of that skill lane. Yes, I use her to take out Morbius in that in that second node in that skill lane, and then my secret Avengers and stuff could go and clean that node up. But yeah, she's important for Morbius. If you're looking to put any of your resources into these Guardians, she is what to put it in. Now, as far as the rest of these, you could build up these characters, Rocket, Star-Lord, just for that Nowhere Heist. It's not going to waste there. But then you got Drax, Groot, and Mantis, which honestly, they're not going to be that good. And for that, I don't know if you want to go all the way to the supply or to the costume store and get your Groot costume and your Drax costume. And it's not there yet. I've had a lot of questions this morning about where are these rewards. It's not in the store yet. They're missing. But hopefully sometime before the event ends, they will be in the store. Now, let me know if you get all these credits. Are you going to buy one of the costumes? You're going to buy the Groot costume, the Drax costume, or are you going to save them? Because Groot and Drax, while those costumes looks kind of cool, they look festive for the holidays. I don't know if there's a lot of use for these Guardians too much nowadays. Now, I think there may be a rework when the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 comes out, but as of right now, not a huge need for all of these Guardians characters. All right, and now it is time for your questions for the mailbag. I want to give a big shout out to everyone that left a question on the Discord. If you want to leave a question for one of these future Monday mailbags, sometimes we do this on Sundays, sometimes we do this on Tuesdays, but normally they're on Mondays. Make sure you are a member of the Discord. Let's go with these questions. Guy with long mailbag questions, you are back. Thank you for your question. It is a very long one, but let's get to all of it. I'm back after a while. I haven't had a question in a hot minute, but I thought I'd pop in again. With the recent present store prices taking way too many steroids, do you think we should still be saving for Nemesis or get someone like Agatha or Braun, assuming we might be able to afford it without spending dollars? My fear is that if we spent presents every week, we may not have enough to buy Nemesis nemesis at the end. Even though their blog posts addressing the issue said their intention was for players to be able to purchase one of the 3 featured characters every week, I'm still concerned about it being subject to change, and then we'll be screwed over not having enough for Nemesis. Well, his event is coming out today, so, and that is a normal campaign event, so hopefully it runs like these last few. Hopefully the drop rates in these orbs are pretty good, that you can get a lot of shards for Nemesis, and then you can choose what you want to do with your tokens. Let me finish the question, then I'll get to my answer in case there's anything other in case there's any other questions here. I feel like Scopely is treating the community like we're facing Spider-Weaver in a cosmic crucible, where every time we try to get that message across that we don't like what they're doing, our message misses, so they keep making things worse instead of thinking we're actually fine with it. Between not announcing Raid of Fortune, I claimed my raid milestones a couple hours before it pops. Yeah, I claimed it like the day before it popped as well. That was a pretty trashy event. But if you think about it in terms of, you know what, this is stuff that we're gonna do anyway. It's not anything that's super required. It's just a bunch of free stuff. That's probably a better way to look at it. You know, if you want to grind hard for that, or if you wanted to grind hard for that Raid of Fortune milestones, you could have, but I think a lot of this is just take the free stuff as it comes, and I'm not super stressed about it. To the Turn of Turkey event, but the turkeys froze to the shock of being jacked up prices. It made me steam. Speaking of Crucible, who should I spend my elite credits on first? I have Gambit, Hulkbuster, Abomination, all at 5 stars already. Sadly, my hoard of elite credits is gone to me of lacking orange catalysts. I blew the stash a little bit before they announced the store changes. Oh, so not even on teal stuff, on orange stuff. All right, so I think there's a couple questions here as far as the shards. Let me go answer that, and that relates to this blog post here. This is the prices right now for what is coming up in the store. We have Dazzler, Spider-Man 29, who I would not buy, Braun, who's at 900. So for me, if we look at my roster, I'm missing shards for a few of these characters, and mainly I think I'm gonna get a couple of Dazzler here just to get her up to that next star level. And I think if you're close to getting a character to the next star level, that'd be a good target for you to upgrade. If we look at my Dazzler in game, if I get 2 of these Dazzler offers, that is 1.6 million, and that'll get her to that next star level here. And then we go back here. Spider-Man Noir is not a great character, even on that Tangled Web team. Rogue is a Horseman character, so I think that the only character that's worth getting is Nemesis on that last day. So you could either get 2 of these Nemesis, which will be total 100 shards, or you could get a Dazzler and a Braun, or 2 Brauns, depending where your star level's at. Now, Braun is a great character, it's another Horseman character, but because getting 2 of these won't get my Braun to the next star level, I'm probably gonna do 2 Dazzlers and then 1 Nemesis, or maybe just 2 Nemesis, depending on how lucky or unlucky I get with events. All right, back to the second part of your question. The elite credits, Hulkbuster, Gambit, or Abomination. Well, unless you're struggling in the raids, I probably would avoid Hulkbuster because he's a Scourge character. He's not a Horseman character, and Scourge characters help you unlock the actual Horseman, but won't help you to unlock Apocalypse. And so I wouldn't go with Hulkbuster unless you're a few shards short of the next star level. Gambit is a great character. He is a mutant right now, and he's a non-legendary mutant, so if you're still trying to do that Death Scourge, he is going to give you value there. And Abomination is on that Gamma team. So my priorities for that store would be Gambit first, Abomination second, and Hulkbuster third. Now, what I did is I got all of my characters up to that 6-star level, and then I just pause. Right now, what I'm doing is just saving my Crucible credits. It's gonna take a long time to get these characters up to that 7-star level, so that's what I'm doing. I hope that helps you, and I hope that helps you make a decision on what you want to do. It's really based on where your stars are with all these characters, but you said all of them are 5 stars already. I guess it depends how close they are from that 5-star to that next 6-star level. And maybe I might suggest doing what I'm doing as well, just getting all these characters eventually up to 6 stars and just pausing there, because you never know, you might need all that teal gear for another character there. All right, moving on. More part of the question. At least if we fail to get enough presents to get what we want, then at least be Nemesis or someone else. At least we don't fail at keeping our wallets closed because those presents are trash. Hey, happy holidays. Yes, some of the presents in the present store are not that good. The only other thing I would buy other than character shards is potentially that ISO 8 blue level 4, those ions there. if that'll make a difference in getting you one of your horseman characters up to unlock Apocalypse, and those shards won't really make a difference in getting to the next star level, that would be something to consider, because that's enough ions to get one character up to ISO 8 blue level 4. So that is another consideration. I'm actually thinking I might do that as well, but I'm still leaning towards 2 Dazzlers and 1 Nemesis for what I think I'm gonna do. All right, hello again, Valley. Follow up to my simple question about debuffs on Rebirth. As I saw the response, and the main reason I'm asking is because Red Hulk always comes back with charges. Now, debuffs and charges are a little different, and buffs and charges are a little different as well. But let's go take a look at his kit, see if we can get some insight here. I was trying to figure out why he wasn't clearing the charges. Well, if we look at his kit, there's no real way for him to clear charges. When he has 5 or more charge, he's gonna flip an additional effect here. On his basic there, when his character performs a counterattack with 5 or more charge, that counterattack gains 100% damage. Doesn't do anything to remove the charges. There's nothing here in the special about these charges. There's nothing here specifically about charges on this ultimate as well, although that will let you use that battlefield effects when you charge. The only place that I saw him clearing these charges on spawn, if charged, he's gonna clear these charges. And I think him coming back to life or resurrecting is not the same as charge, so he's not really having a place to clear these charges. At the end of any turn, if this character has 5 or more charge, gains 7 ability energy, fill this character's speed bar by 50%, only trigger match once per match and once per war. That would not do anything as far as Death Seed or anything like that. When a character has charge up to a maximum of 5, is going to gain focus, and for each charge is going to gain more speed, block chance, and counter attack chance. Nothing here about losing these charges here, so I think that's I think that's working as intended. If we look at Spider Weaver, another character that relies on charges here, as far as their charges, when this character has charge, lower accuracy by 100% for all enemies, and when an enemy misses, that is when she's going to lose charge. So I think Red Hulk may be a special case here, that he just does not lose the charges unless he comes into the next battle there. So that might be what's going on. If there's something else that you guys know of in the background that's going on, though, let me know. But that is my best guess. There's nothing in his kit that actually removes the charges. So when he comes back to life, I think it's proper that he has those charges, but let me know if I'm wrong on that, guys, in the comments. Hey, Valley, good to see you're out of the cast for a little while now. Yeah, my fingers are actually out of the cast. I got the stitches removed. They're looking a lot better. Still probably a few more weeks to heal this, but thank you, brother. Hope you're still training and working towards your best self. Not today, not yesterday either. I'm recovering from this cold. Seems to be going around. I got a cold a few weeks ago. Normally I don't get sick. I got a cold a few weeks ago. I get sick today, so it's going around here, and I'm trying to fight that. But as soon as I'm better, back to full health, I'll be back in the gym training, and that should be around the time that I can start training again with these the finger surgery. So thank you, my brother. Anyway, my question: what T4 should I put in minions for Death Scourge? I don't really want, but I'm using Ravager's Hand Archer and Hand Blade Master based on stats mainly. I'm sure by this time you've already went in and seen that the minion section is not that bad, especially if you're bringing Ravagers. Hand Archer or Hand Blade Master are okay, but I think the Ravagers are what's really going to do it. I don't even know what happened in my Scourge event, because I was using my aim characters and a Stitcher. I think it was minus Infector. So the 4 aim minions and Stitcher went in with that, and I was like, this is taking long. Everybody else autoed. I'm just gonna press auto and then come back later. So that's what I did. I hit auto with my aim minions, and that's it. It fully autoed. So I'm not really sure what happened there. Hopefully you found that it's easy enough that you could just auto it with your characters. And my team was at level 8, difficulty 8, with just those 3 minion Scourges on. This is where my minions were, and still are, because I haven't built them up since I went through that Scourge. So 166 for Stitcher, 112 for Monstrosity, 110 for Assaulter, 96 for Researcher, and 90 for Aim Security. And after I went through that initial run, that was pretty easy. So I'd recommend no T-Force unless you're really struggling in this Scourge event. But it seems, at least on some of these other difficulties, you can get through it pretty easily. Now, difficulty 9 is going to be a little challenging, and that might be up to your War Dogs and everything. But difficulty 8, I think most people get difficulty 8, and it's just going to come down to which Scourges you get to. Well, at least I say most people. I say most longer time players that have larger rosters can get through that. What's up, Valley? I want to ask you if you saw Tana's video about his depression and how he's being treated in the Envoy program. I think he could use a little pick-me-up, and a big thank you from the community. I know you're the guy that brings the positivity in the world. The community needs more of that. Keep on smashing. I hope you have a great Christmas. Well, I hope all of you Valley Club members have a great Christmas as well. And as far as Tana, I do think that he deserves a thank you. You know, as far as I know, I think he's the only person that's still doing the data mines now. I know Mini Ball used to do them, but I've also saw a lot of posts that Mini Ball says he's retiring. So I think Tana's the only one that's doing it, and I think that's good. The community needs that. They need to know what is coming up in the game, and they need to know that the devs need to be held accountable. And I think out of all the envoys, he's the one that holds them accountable a lot. It's like, hey, you said this back in the day. You guys should be doing this, and he reminds them about a lot of things that I forgot, and I think they forgot about as well. So yes, big shout out to him for all that stuff. As far as his depression and treated envoy program, I don't know how he's portrays himself being treated in envoy program though. I don't see him being treated any differently than any of us else, you know. And I think actually he gets his questions answered more than a lot of us, and I think a lot of that is due to just he has a lot of questions. So I'm not sure what he said about that. And as far as depression, I don't think that's universal to Tana. I think that's a lot of other content creators. You know, I speak to a lot of content creators offline, and they go through a lot of the struggles that I go through, and I'm sure Tana is going through as well. You know, when the channel's doing good, it's hype and it feels good. But as you guys know, the Marvel Strike Force has not been where it's been all the way back in that COVID years. It's kind of been declined, and players are leaving, and the devs aren't making it any easier to keep alliance mates around with all the decisions they make. So that does affect the numbers of Marvel Strike Force, and our channel's about Marvel Strike Force. It does affect that as well. So I think that's it's easier to lead to that point. I just know that for me, I have a lot of outlets usually when I'm not injured. I could go work out, could go train. I've got nice family, you know, my wife, my kids, they help me through that stuff. So I just hope that anybody that has depression and is struggling with that, they find some other outlets that they could use that on, not just base your mental state on how well your channel is or isn't doing. So I hope that helps. But yeah, Tana does deserve a big shout out. So hell fist bump to you, Tana, for all the data mines, everything you're doing to help the MSF community. And I hope whatever struggles you're going with as far as depression and stuff, just you find an outlet for all that stuff, my friend. All right, Valley, with the final Horseman coming out this week, I'm looking forward to finally being mostly done with this year-long experiment. The last step being Apocalypse himself. My question, he has a consensus been to come on the final ISO 8 classes for the 4 Horseman teams. I've been holding all my blue ISO 8 4s, and I don't want to commit to possibly doing the wrong class and having to replay the high ISO 8 class for our respec. Thank you for your help and your content. Happy holidays to everyone. So I think it's hard to find the final ISO 8 classes for these Horsemen without knowing anything about Apocalypse and his kids. So I don't think we can answer that question yet. But as far as this Death Seed team, I think maybe not the final ISO 8 classes, but the ISO 8 classes for this Death Seed, a lot of it is going to rely on this Dark Beast passive, because he's going to get a 25 persist chance per Death Seed ally. Full Death Seed team, he's always assisting, which means that if they're all Striker, then Beast is going to follow up, apply that vulnerable on them, applying 2 bleeds, offense down, heal block, and then you're gonna have one of your other strikers go again with some of their awesome effects. Now, outside of this Death Seed team for Archangel, I think the best ISO 8 class is Raider, to make use of his AoE attacks and the things that he does and getting extra crits. So I think Raider for Archangel in a outside of the Death Seed team. And when you're into Death Seed, especially with Dark Beast, you want a Striker on him, and then Dark Beast is your skirmisher. As far as what I'm doing with my Horsemen and the rest of their teams, I'm just putting the class that matches them the best, because once Apocalypse comes out, I want those ISO 8 4 on them right away so that I can unlock Apocalypse, even if it means I have to change it out later. Like this Striker out for Raider. Striker seems to be the best class on Morgan Le Fay, but getting that extra focus is so important. Skirmisher seems to be the best class for Raider for Red Hulk, although on defense and in the raids, the full team of healer seems to be working the best. And then we got the Striker on Rogue as well. So that's what I have on them. this may be a mistake down the road, but I'd rather make this mistake, get that Apocalypse unlocked, and then have to pivot later than to save all these resources, not have these Horsemen team running their full capacity, and then make the best decision down the road, because as you know, these best decisions, they may change down the road. So that's what I'm doing right now. Hopefully that helps you. I don't know if that convinces you one way or the other to put your ISO 8-4 blue into your Horseman characters, but I think it's gonna be very challenging to know what is the correct ISO 8 setup without knowing the kit for Apocalypse there. All right, ValleyFlyin, do you think I should invest more into my Bionic Avengers for the Doom raids in 3.2? And some days my Deathlock gets deleted. I have my team at 850k power. I have all the T4s on every character, and Iron Man at 7 gold, 7 red, gear 16. Raider on him, Hulkbuster at 5 gold, 4 red, or 5 red, 4 gold, gear 16, have Striker on him. I have Vision at gear 15, 7 gold, 5 red with Raider on him for raids, and Skirmisher for everyone else. I have Viv at gear 16, 5 gold, 5 red. I have Healer on her. I want to know if I should work on this team more or invest in Death Seed instead, but that's the last section of my lane. We never get stuck in the tech section anymore now. So a lot of times these raids, they just come down to good and bad RNG. Sometimes I take in the same exact team, same exact node. One node, I get smashed, I retreat, I go out, and I go in again, and I smash the entire team, no issues. So sometimes it's just bad RNG. 850k power for your Bionic Avengers should be pretty good, and especially in 3.2. Mine is not far off of that, and we're at 3.4, and these guys usually can full sim the first node, and sometimes they can sim the second node, but a lot of times they die on that second node if I full sim it. Usually if I play it though, they do well. You may want to get a little more in your Deathlock, especially if it's getting deleted. I don't know if you have access to more shards or anything like that in your presence store or anything like that, but you may want to put more levels on him. You may want to put more gear on him. But if it were me, I guess it depends on which section you're struggling with, a little more tech or mutant. Mutant is going to be that Horseman team. So at least for me, I would invest more in that Death Seed team. And hopefully you can start to build these guys in the background. As we saw, they're not the best team for Scourge, for that Death Scourge, but they are going to be an important part of your raid setup that you're going to use every single day. So build them to where you need. Hopefully you can get more shards on Deathlock, but if not, just put more levels on him, and hopefully that helps you. ValleyFlyin, do you think it's out of line to ask for support to allow you to complete the last milestone in event because the time on the deadline for the milestone is misleading? I had a milestone that was literally 300 more cores to finish, but the event ended earlier than I expected. I don't think it's out of line at all. I think it's out of line for them to end these events early. So yeah, definitely write in. Now, I don't know what I would expect, and you may get a good customer service person that gives you what you should be getting. Sometimes they say, no, we can't do that. If they do that, I would just write in again. But yeah, I don't think it's out of line to ask for that, especially if it's their error and the event ended early. Now, I hope you guys screenshots, because sometimes they're not as responsive without screenshots. But I would definitely write in, see what you do. I don't know what I would expect though, but I would definitely write in, brother. Hey, Valley, something seems off with Archangel. He's a Horseman who's no skills, abilities that does anything for the Horseman team. All the others have at least one thing or more. MILF gaining 50% max health. Darkhold allies gain 50% max health. Apocalypse and all Horsemen gain 50% health. Gain resistance. Darkhold allies gain resistance. Apocalypse and all Horsemen allies gain resistance, but Angel have none. They're Death Seed only. And if you look in the game, we'll see that Red Hulk has none right now himself. Now, he will have some as soon as his saga goes live. If we look at this, this is his kit after the saga goes live, but we can't upgrade that yet. Nothing about the rest of the other teams, just the Gamma team. So it's because he hasn't had his saga mission yet in there. So Red Hulk is not going to have any either. He does have some on MSF.GG, and you can see them in a game, but if we look at what he does now, doesn't do anything for the Horsemen there until you activate his saga and get these awakened abilities. So Archangel's not going to have anything that relates to Horsemen until his saga comes live. And I think just based on the timing, that should be sometime around January, maybe February, since I don't remember them talking about that in the patch notes here. So probably February is where we get an Archangel's saga event, and sometime after that is when we should get the Apocalypse event. And that's just my speculation there. Nothing official, nothing data mines or anything like that. Hello, brother Valley. Hope all is well. Hope all is well with you, my brother. I kind of missed the Beast Blitzing event. It's so satisfying to actually gaining 10 possible shards a day or more. I have 2 suggestions for the Blitz mode. They should let us see how much rotations we have in a day so we can maximize on these Blitz events. Yes, since they limited to 8 rotations per day, they should have a countdown timer and knowing how many more rotations your characters. I like that. I like that as an idea. Why can't we hoard Blitz charges? I know it caps at 500. The only time it goes past 500 if you buy them or receive them as compensation from Scopely. I guess it's to limit so that people can't have like 2,000 Blitz charges and on day 1 just use all of their teams. I get why they're doing it. It would make it easier for the players. But this Blitz event for Beast, I actually liked it. It was pretty good. I thought it would be very, very bad. And this is the one that ended last week. I got on a way to get this 30 shards of Beast in that Milestones. And I like events like this where the Blitz is tied to orbs you could get from each Blitz match and not blitzing tied to milestones that limit the amount of fragments you could get for that orb. So if they do an event like this again, I hope they do it similar to Dark Beast and not similar to some of these events that have limited your blitzing in the past. So, if you want to just do 3 rotations or 4 rotations, hit the major milestones there, you could. But if you want to grind and get a little more sweaty with these milestones, you can as well. And I like that option. If I don't want those rewards, I don't need to blitz as much. I just do the minimal, get the important milestones there for that month-long milestone event. And if I want to grind more, like for those 30 B shards, I can. So I like what they did with that event. It wasn't as bad as we thought it would be. It was actually a pretty friendly event. But that is it for this video, guys. It's a little bit under the weather, but I hope you guys are safe, healthy this holiday season. Check me out on social media if you haven't already. If you want to support the channel, check out some of the sponsors down below, including Amazon Coins. And I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully you guys have a great one. Hulk fist bump. ValleyFlyin out. I'll see you guys later.